Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Tamara. I'm 23 years old and I'm a self-taught makeup artist. If you like what you see, then please subscribe. This is my first look of many. My aim is to do colourful looks, subtle looks, date night looks, looks for going out with friends, just any and every type of look. Just any and every type of look. Hopefully you like this look, you like the video, and you subscribe to my channel. I will be linking my Instagram and my Twitter in the description box below. And just one more really important thing before this video starts. I will be doing a giveaway of some Fenty products that I've recently purchased and that I know and love. I'll be giving my subscribers the chance to win one of the three in my hand. It's your choice which one of the three you want from me, but it is a welcome gift to welcome to my channel. It's to show you that there will be giveaways in the future. Everything in this video is obviously purchased by myself because ain't nobody sponsoring me yet because I'm unknown. But I would hope, my plan is to do the giveaway when we hit maybe 1,000 views or to the end of the month. If you just keep an eye peeled on my Instagram, if you follow my Instagram, you keep an eye peeled, I will be linking the competition in the box below. And I will be giving the details on my Instagram, the full details of how you can win this. It won't be hard to win. It will be so easy because this is a new channel. No one's familiar with this channel. I'll probably run the competition till the end of this month. And then, yeah, you've got to be in it to win it. So, without further ado, I hope you like my video and I hope you enjoy the video and you like the look and you recreate it. Anyone who recreates the look, I want to see the recreations. And yeah, I hope you like my channel. Okay, so the first part of the tutorial will be prepping the skin for makeup. I'm going in with my Becca Skin Love Glow Elixir, which I've already applied to my face, and my Embryolisse cream. And I'm just dotting it on my face on all the places that I know I get dry throughout the day. The reason why I'm using the Becca and the Embryolisse is because I use it as a moisturizer. I have dry skin, whereas people who have oily or combination skin might prefer to use the primer at this point, but primers tend to damage my skin because they're quite harsh and my skin's already dry. Okay, so I've done my brows off camera and now I'm going in with my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer Concealer in the shade SX13, and I'm just carving out my eyebrows. I had done a brow tutorial for you guys and it was meant to be featured in this video, but unfortunately it didn't record, so I will be focusing on brows in my next video. So right now I'm just carving out the top of my eyebrows. As you can see, I've taken my defining brush and I've flipped it around so that it's facing flat side, the tip is facing my eyebrows, and the reason why I do that is it gives a more precise finish. It's easier for you to carve out your eyebrows and get the right shape if you're working with a flat surface. And I try hard not to drag the brush. I want to go through the motion, so just elongate the motion out, if that makes sense. You're basically just light feathered strokes, brushing it through, and then when you get towards the tail, you're following the natural shape of your brows to bring it down. You don't want to pull the skin or drag the skin too hard. So as you can see, I've taken my Morphe eyebrow pencil in the shade Ebony and I'm just redefining any points in my eyebrows that I think could need definition or anything that I think the concealer's taken out too much of. The reason why I usually lean back when I'm doing my eyebrows is to give myself more perspective. Usually when you're close up to the mirror, you don't get the overall picture of how your eyebrows will look and if they're level. So it's good to just have a lean back and to make sure everything's equal. I'm now taking the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer to conceal any dark areas on my face. It's going to sound embarrassing, but the top of my lip is darker than the rest of my face, so I have to conceal that out to make sure I have an even finish. Okay, so I'm sure my excitement shows about the next product that I'll be using, which is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear foundation in the shade 420. So this was my first time using the Fenty Pro Filter foundation. Usually I use MAC Studio Fix in NW45, or I have a new Nars foundation which is dewy, But this Pro Filter foundation, honestly, it's a really nice foundation. It exceeded my expectations. It gives you a really nice matte finish, but it doesn't make you look dull, and it's a good colour match for my skin. So I was matched at the Boots in Bromley, and the advice that I was given was to go a shade down from what you usually would be. And the reason for that is the Fenty foundation tends to dry in darker than how it originally goes on, as you'll see in the video. At first, when I first got colour matched, I was a bit like, this colour might be a bit too light for me, but as it settled in and soaked into my skin, it actually was a decent colour match. Like, it's a very good colour match, and it looks very natural. And the great thing about the Fenty Pro Filter foundation is it's very buildable. No matter how many times you go in, you'll be left with a good finish. I'm someone who likes a full coverage foundation, and for me, you can see how many layers I've applied and there was no streak marks. And the thing I loved about the Fenty foundation was I didn't have to try that hard to blend it in. It was a really buildable and blendable foundation. So as you can see, I am using the foundation to go over the concealer on my eyebrows, and the reason why I do this is to make sure that my eyebrows match the rest of my face and I'm not left with any crazy looking eyebrows. Now, I mean what I'm about to say with no shade, but sometimes you can see when you go out and you look at other people's eyebrows, they're left with the concealer mark from where they may have been trying to carve out their eyebrows, and it's like my pet peeve in life. I cannot stand it. So I always go over with my foundation to make sure that it's nice and it matches the rest of my face and it's not too obvious that I've concealed out my eyebrows. Next, we're going in with the MAC Pro-Longwear Concealer in the shade NC45, and I'm just going to put a squirt of that on the brush that I use to highlight. And the main thing that I do when I highlight is I make sure that my brush is damp, and then I like to stipple it on my face. I usually go right up into the under eye, and then I bounce the brush lightly off of my face to make sure that I'm getting the maximum payout for the product that I'm using. I don't drag my concealer on my face. I feel like it doesn't really blend it in well for you, and you lose more product on the brush than you would on your skin. A lot of you are probably going to be wondering, why don't I use a beauty blender? And the truth is, I don't really like to use beauty blenders. I personally find them pointless. Maybe I'm not using it right, but a brush has never done me wrong. So I'm just lightly bouncing it on my face and making sure that I'm taking the concealer to my nose corner. And the reason why I do this is to make sure that when I go to put my contour on, as you'll see in the video, that it all blends in nicely and that it's a seamless transition. Next, I'm taking my Nars Duo Contour Blush Set in the shade Melina, and I'm just going to go in with that light shade and set my under eye where I've used the concealer. And the reason why I do this is I am prone to creasing, so it's necessary for me to go in and set my concealer quickly, or else I will have a crease mark under my eye. So the quicker you can set your concealer, the better. The thing I like about the Nars Duo palette is that it's easy to use. It basically guides you on what you should be doing. The lighter shade is for your highlight, the darker shade is for your contour. I know it says it's a blush set, but you can see the two colours. There is no way that you would be using those two colours to do your blush on your face. It is a highlight and a contour kit. Next, I'll be going in with the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation in the shade F16, and I'm just marking out all the places on my face that I usually contour, which is my cheekbones, the sides of my nose, and also my forehead. So the purpose of contouring is you would want to contour anywhere on your face where a shadow would naturally fall. Contouring helps to define your features and make them look more angled and more pronounced. I know a lot of people tend to struggle with highlighting and contouring, and the main reason for that is that not everyone is aware of their face shape. My contour, which works for me, might not necessarily work for you. So the main basis of contouring is keeping the principles the same, however applying them to your face shape. So after highlighting and contouring, I like to go back and define my contour, and I'm currently using the Nars Translucent Powder in the shade Crystal, which is a light reflecting setting powder. The reason why I go over my contour with a translucent powder is to ensure that my contour is defined and that it looks really sharp and angled. So I'm currently using a flat contour brush to carve out the areas on my cheekbones that I want to be more pronounced and more sharper and more defined. So next, I'll be going in with a heavier translucent powder, which is the Vichy Dermablend translucent powder. And the reason for this is I like to use the Nars translucent powder as a basis of where I should be marking my face to define, and then I use the heavier translucent powder to commit to that decision once I'm sure that it looks to be the right angle and it looks to be clear and the definition looks to be sharp enough. I like to go in a couple times with the translucent powder and build it up, just to make sure that I can get the finish that I require, and also to make sure that it's not too heavy or I'm not putting on too many layers. The thing with translucent powder is, whilst it's meant to work for every skin tone, I'm going to be real, for people of colour, translucent powder can sometimes make you look cakey or a bit powdery, and sometimes it doesn't 100% brush off. If you put too much on, you'll be left with a kind of white residue or a film. So another thing to be aware of with translucent powder or any powder is that not all of them are the same. They will have different textures. Some are milled finer than others, some are more coarse. I usually prefer a fine milled powder, and the reason for that is it goes on easier, it's really nice, it takes to the skin and it settles in, it's easier to brush off and it's easier to work with. So you'll notice now that I've gone in with the translucent powder under my eye, and the reason for that is I'm using it to partially bake, but I'm also using it in preparation for my eyeshadow, as translucent powder can be used to catch any fallout. So off camera I prepared my eyelid for eyeshadow using the Morphe concealer in C455, and I've just based my eyelid with that, and I'm going in with the translucent powder to set it. Next I'm going in with my all-time favourite palette, which is the Nars Skin Deep palette. So the first shade I'm going in with is Coconut Grove, which is the darkest shade in this palette, and I'm just going to use that to create a V on my eyelid and gently buffer it out. Now the reason why I've gone in with the darkest colour is because I'm kind of going for a smoky eye, not in the sense of like a dark smoky eye, but a very wearable daytime smoky eye effect. And the brush that I'm using is the Morphe E17 to just gently feather it out and blend it out and just keep the V shape. Because the end is tapered, it's very nice for creating the visual shape that you would like. So I'm just going in with that. I've not picked up any extra product, I'm just picking it up now to darken it. So you really want to use what's on your brush the first time you go in to create the V, and then you want to darken it when you feel confident in the shape. All the brushes that I've used in this video, I will link them in the description box below. A lot of my brushes are from Amazon, so it's not always easy to give you a precise brush, but I will link the kits and where I bought them from in the description box below. So I'm still using the shade Coconut Grove, and I'm just going in and darkening the colour to make sure that I've got the colour that I want. I don't want it to be patchy, I want it to be feathered out nicely, for it to look even on both sides and for the pigment to really show. The thing I like about the Nars palette is that it's really creamy, even the mattes go on really nice, which is usually very hard to find in the palette, and it's very workable. All the shades kind of work with each other, so you're not left wondering like, which colour should I use, what should I do? As Nars has already thought of that for you, and the palette is set up in a way that all the colours that are in a certain section can work with each other, and all the colours that are in the palette work with each other as a whole. And the reason for that is the top row would be all of the transition colours that you would use, and then the last two rows are a mixture of mattes and shimmers. The next colour that I'm going in with is the shade Barley, and I'm going to use this as a transition colour between Coconut Grove, as it's a lighter matte colour. So what I'm using it for is to base my eyelid, and this will be the main colour on my eyelid today. I'm using the Morphe E27 brush, and I'm just lightly feathering it out and dragging the colour down to the middle and centre of my eyelid. I'm also going to go back and blend it in with Coconut Grove to make sure that there's no harsh lines. The Morphe E27 brush is a very fluffy brush. It's very good for feathering out looks, and it's very good for blending. The blendability of this brush is perfect, and the good thing about the E27 brush is it is inexpensive. So the great thing about the Morphe brand as a whole is generally they're inexpensive. They have a shop in the UK in Stratford, which means that you can go in store and view a lot of their products. For me, this is the best place to buy brushes. You're able to go in store, see the range of brushes that they do, pick them up, feel them, feel the type of material that they're made with. And when I say that, I mean the bristles, what the bristles are made with, if the bristles feel soft, how blendable they will be. And you've got people in store who can advise you and help you on starting a brush kit. So as you can see, I keep picking up the shade Barley and going over where Coconut Grove is, and that is just to make sure that the transition is as blended as possible. I've kept Barley mainly to the centre of my lid, and that's because I have a very specific look in mind. I've picked up my small shader brush, and now I'm going in with the colour Centerfold, which is a really beautiful silvery shimmery colour. So I'm going to be using this colour as the focal point of my lid. As you can see, this is one of the shimmers that I was talking about, being really creamy and buildable, like the payoff on this eyeshadow is just gorgeous. This is my absolute favourite eyeshadow from the pan, and honestly the camera isn't doing it justice. Honestly, at this point in the video, even I had to take a step back and look at the lid and be like, oh my god, this colour is actually gorgeous. So I'm just following the process on the other lid and just blending it into both Barley and Coconut Grove to make sure that it looks blended in properly, that there's no harsh lines, and that you're able to see that it's blended in seamlessly. I think the best thing about the Nars eyeshadow palette is that there is not much fallout at all, which is surprising due to how pigmented the palette is. So we're on to our second Fenty product of the whole video, which is the Diamond Bomb All Over Diamond Veil in the shade How Many Carats. And this is absolutely beautiful. When I opened it up, I was literally shook as to how shimmery it is. I originally went in with a brush and then very quickly decided that it had to be put on the eyelid with a finger, or else the payoff, you wouldn't see it. And the reason for that is because it kind of gets lost in the brush, so you have to use your finger if you really want a shimmery lid. Like, damn Gina, when I saw that colour and I saw the intensity of the diamond veil, I was shook. Like, it is genuinely beautiful. It's an all over universal highlighter, which is just gorgeous. You can use it on your eyelid, the top of your lip, anywhere on your body, and the intensity of it is worth all the money. So now I've decided that I'm done with my eyeshadow. I'm just neatening the edges with the Morphe concealer, and I'm just making sure that I have the shape that I want and that I'm happy with the shape, and concealing out anything that I am not happy with. Okay, so now we're going to brush off the translucent powder, and we're also going to blend in the concealer that we've just used to neaten our eyeshadow. The reason why it's time to get rid of the translucent powder now is because it was there for two purposes. One, to help us set our makeup, and also to help us bake. And the second reason was to catch any fallout from the eyeshadow. So now it's served its purpose and we can get rid of it. Okay, so now it's time for blush, and we are using the Nars blush in the shade Seduction, which is a really beautiful pink hue. And we are just going to apply a bit of that on our brush and then go in on the apples of our cheeks where we would usually smile for a nice gentle pink glow. The reason why you have to be careful when you use this blush is because it's super pigmented, which means that if you apply too much, you will be left with overly pink cheeks. So you want to go in really lightly with minimal product. Now I'm going in with a second blush, which is from MAC in the shade Copper Tone, which is a gentle flesh tone blush for me, and I'm just going to use that to intensify the blush on my cheeks and also around my face, on my chin, nose and forehead, to give me a healthier glow and to balance out the pink. The next part of this video will be tight lining. I am going in with the shade Morphe Dark Moon, which is an eyeliner pencil, and I'm just going to use that on my lower lash line in my waterline to tight line my eyes. The reason why I'm tight lining my eyes in this video is to make them look smaller. So as you'll see, I only go in on the lower lash line, and that is to minimize my eyes and make them look smaller. If you want to make your eyes look bigger, you would go in with a white pencil, or you would do your top lash line and you would go in with a black or a white pencil to emphasize the eyes. But for me, I want my eyes to look smaller in this video, so I'm just taking the darkest shade that I have as an eyeliner and just bringing it in my lower lash line and making it look smaller. So now I'm going in to do my eyeliner, and I'm using the Scandaleyes Micro Precision Eyeliner by Rimmel London, and I'm just going to take that and use the precision tip to make a nice neat line from my top eyelash corner to where I want my eyeliner to stop. I usually drag the line through and follow my natural eye shape, blinking while I do it to give me the perfect shape. I usually drag that through to the middle of my eye. I then go back in to fill in any parts of my eyeliner that I don't think looks 100% correct. And then I go from the start of my eye to connect the line to the middle line that I've already made. I then use the tip to go over the line and darken it, and then fill in any places that I feel like could be filled in better, and to neaten the line and make it more straighter. So as you'll see at this point, I'm just going in to darken the eyeliner, catching any gaps that I would have missed in terms of making the line, and just neatening the line out. I'm then going to apply the same technique to my second eye, and that will be my eyeliner complete. All those late night conversations when you said you want my So next is the mother of all highlights. I am going in with the McGrath Sublime Skin Highlighting Trio in the shade Fine Gold. Now this highlight is gorgeous. It's kind of an iridescent gold, and honestly all I needed was one swipe and you can see the payoff yourself. This highlighting trio is quite expensive, but it is worth the money. As you can see, I haven't double dipped. This is just literally from the one application, and it's a beautiful gold shade. So I'm going back in with the Fenty Diamond Veil, and the reason for this is I'm in silver eyeshadow and grey tones, and I just felt like the gold was a bit much for the look. So I've taken the Fenty Diamond Veil and I'm just going over the highlight to intensify it, and also to try and tone it down from being gold to bring it to a more silvery kind of shimmer, which I think I achieved quite nicely, if I do say so myself. I think the Fenty and the McGrath together was just gorgeous. Like, it was so bright, it was so noticeable. I literally felt like I was serving Edward Cullen realness. Okay, so now I'm going in with my go-to mascara, which is the Tarte Light Camera Lashes mascara. Other than the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, this has to be one of my favourite mascaras. I feel like it separates the lashes quite well. It gives you a good pigmented dark shade for your lash. It also works well on the bottom lashes in. There's no clumping, and it gets all the lashes and it separates them quite nicely. So this is my go-to mascara, which I usually use and which I'm using for this video. So we're on to our third Fenty product of this video, and it is the Bomb Baby Duo Set. I am using the Gloss Bomb, which is a universal lip luminizer in the shade Fenty Glow, to do my lips. Usually I wear lipstick, but I thought I would give lip gloss a go today. Okay, so next is lashes, and I'm using the Vegas Nail Lashes by Eyeliner in Easy Elegance. I have applied my eyelashes off camera to save you guys from seeing me pitifully put them on. Honestly, it was a struggle. But as you will now see in the video, I am just darkening my eyeliner, and I'm going in with my NYX liquid eyeliner. The reason for that is I felt like the eyeliner that I had on before was kind of blending into the look and wasn't dark enough. So I've just gone in with a super black eyeliner to really define my eyes and give me definition. So a few of you eagle-eyed viewers would have noticed that I got a bit of eyeliner on my nose, but it's okay because I'm going to go in with concealer and lightly pat it out. And that's just to show you that even if you make a small mistake like that, it is fixable. So here it is, the final look, and I hope you liked the video and you enjoyed the tutorial, and I've attached pictures for you to see the full look. So I hope I see you in my next video.